Okay, real quick, I'm going to talk about Diatomaceous Earth, and this is something I use on my dogs, on my personal dogs, the dogs that I foster. And basically, what it does, it does a whole bunch of things that are good for your dog and for people as well. It's good for the nails, it's good for the hair or their coat, and it's really good for their stomach. One of the reasons I really like using this product is because when I first get a dog from a shelter, or when I first get a dog to foster, the reason I like to use this is because it gets rid of parasites, intestinal parasites on them. The first time I tried it, I was a little skeptical. I kind of heard about it on the internet, and I just figured why not. So I gave it a shot, and my first dog, it took her about, I'd say about 2 to 3 months, and you could actually see the worms coming out of the stool, and obviously they were dead. And this was something I had never seen before. And when you read into this, when you do some research on this, what it actually does is it cuts up the parasites, but at the same time it's not bad for for human or animal consumption, because they're like microscopic shells, which are okay for human consumption, but because they're so microscopic, what it does is it cuts up the parasites, and that's how it gets rid of them. Again, if you want to get Diatomaceous Earth for your dog, make sure that it's food grade or human grade Diatomaceous Earth, because you can find these on your local hardware stores, but they're chemical based, and that's something you don't want to give your dog. So again, this is just a personal practice. This is what I do. This is what we do in our house. Check with your vet. I'm not saying replace this for replace your medicine, replace your vet. You always want to talk to your vet, but look into it. It might help you out. It might be for you. It might be something you want to try. I've tried it on all the dogs that I've had, and I've never seen any problems with it. It's actually been more beneficial to them than anything. So the brand that I use is earthworkshealth.com. And basically reason I like this brand is because they ship real quick. When I put an order, I get the product within a couple of days, and their customer support is very good. I've never had a problem with them. And anyways, right now I'm going to feed one of my dogs. This is 4 scoops or 4 cups. And when you first start them out, you want to start them out with a little bit, not too much. This is the way I do it anyways. I'm sure there are other ways of doing it. You start them out with about this much, just kind of to get them used to it. Then after about a week or so, you can add a little bit more. And even after you're done, if you're going to use it as a dewormer, even after you're done with that process, you can still give it to them as a preventative measure. So just put it on here. And as far as taste goes, it's tasteless. I've tried it myself. It doesn't taste like anything. It's not bitter or anything like that. The dogs don't really mind at all. They don't care. It doesn't bother them in the least. If your dog is not eating it for some reason, it might be an issue with the food. A lot of dogs are kind of picky with their food. But anyways, this is what I do. I put it on. I mix it a little bit. And that's about it. One other thing you could do too is you could actually add a little bit of water on it to mix it. Okay, so like I was saying, if you want to add a little bit of water, not too much, just a little bit, and just mix it. And it kind of mixes a lot better on the food. Okay, so 1 tablespoon is about what I give them. I do other things too to supplement their diet. And again, everything I'm telling you is just a personal practice. What I'll do every now and then, I'll put a raw egg and just mix it. It doesn't make them sick. It doesn't upset their stomach. It's it's good for them to give them an egg every now and then. Again, this is something I do. Check with your vet if you're not sure, and just make your own decision. So this is what it looks like as far as dry food goes. Next, we're going to talk about wet food and how you can use it the same exact way. You can also use diatomaceous earth on wet food. Just grab a brand of your choice. Okay. I don't particularly use wet food on my dogs, but I know a lot of people do. So it's the same thing. If I do use wet food, it's usually mixed with dry food. And the cat thinks that's his dinner bell. So, again, same thing, same principle. And the amount of diatomaceous earth that I give to my dogs is relative to the amount of food that they're going to get. So on a different clip, I had about a tablespoon on about 3 or 4 scoops of dry food. Here, as you can see, obviously I'm not gonna put a tablespoon. I suppose you could, but I'm not gonna do that for this small amount. So if I were only to give my dog this, of course, just use a little bit less. Nothing bad would happen if you gave your dog a little bit more. It's not toxic. It's not gonna hurt him or anything. But that's just, again, this is all my personal. This is what I do with my dogs. Like I said, normally I mix it with. If I'm gonna use wet food, I'm gonna mix it with dry food. So here I have. Both dry and wet. And dogs really enjoy this. Since I'm using more food, I will use a little bit more DE. Pretty much it. If you notice your dog is suffering from fleas or ticks, this is how you would apply diatomaceous earth on them. You want to put a towel or a t-shirt over their head, and this is just to prevent the dust from getting into their eyes or their nose. It can irritate their eyes because the dust is so fine. So it's just better to cover their faces. You can apply it on their necks, the back of their heads, and their ears. Just prevent it from going into their faces. I'm using a dog for this example, but you can use this on just about any animal. You can use it on a cat, horses, cattle. What you want to do is you want to cover the animal with diatomaceous earth. When I get to pretty much every corner, legs, underbelly, everything. You absolutely want to wear some kind of protective equipment for yourself. Safety glasses and dust mask is strongly recommended. You don't want this stuff on your face either, on your eyes or your nose. Try to do it in area where there isn't a lot of wind. If there is some wind, try to keep the wind on the opposite side of you so it doesn't blow against your face. The dogs will shake it all off, or most of it off, but a thin layer will remain on their skin to do the job. So this is really helpful. It works. It cuts up the fleas and ticks, and it dehydrates them.